please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sullivan.
Aye. Here.
Stompanato.
Here.
Shower.
Here.
Legansky.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Gustafson. Belzak.
Here.
6 present and 1 absent.
We have a quorum. Takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. This is on our agenda. It's been there for several years. It allows anybody from the audience to make a presentation to the city council on a non-agenda item. Does anybody like to do that? Please come forward, just state your name.
3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Henry Fiorentini. Oh, that's it, all right. I'm here today because, in my opinion, our police department has crossed a line. On April 7th, I noticed a interesting looking camera at the intersection of Plainfield Road and Linden Avenue. As it turns out, this is a Flock brand camera that works with other cameras to create a searchable database of every single car on the road, allowing the government to track any driver's movement regardless of whether they've been accused of a crime or are the subject of a police investigation. In my opinion, this is an unacceptable violation of our Fourth Amendment rights and a disgusting example of government overreach. The government has no right to track where we go, when we go there, or how often we do it if we are not suspected of any crime. This is not how a free society operates, it is how a surveillance state operates, like China or North Korea. So just to be clear, these cameras do not just look for criminals or only trigger when there's evidence of a crime like a red light camera. These cameras record innocent people going to work, visiting friends, attending church, and going to medical appointments. They create a searchable history of our daily lives with no warrant, no probable cause, and no consent. Now, of course, if the justification for all this is that it helps catch criminals, which I'm sure it does, well, we could follow that reasoning. We could install microphones on every street corner to record every outdoor conversation. That would help. That would catch a lot more criminals. That would be wonderful on paper. It would just require a complete and shameless abandonment of our principles as a free society. This does not seem to be a gray area to me. It is not simply a disagreement on policy. This is a fundamental question of our values as Americans. Do we have a right to live our lives without being constantly monitored by our government? At this moment, our police department's answer is no. That should concern everyone in the room. It is disturbing, unethical, and it is creepy. Darien is supposed to be a nice place to live where people are comfortable and free, and that is incompatible with a surveillance state that catalogs their movements. Frankly, Darien was a nice place to live, and we can still fix it by removing these cameras, rolling this program back, and apologizing to the people of the city. We have to categorically reject this digital dragnet that treats every resident like a criminal. That's all. Thank you.
Your response? Anybody want to make a response? Okay. Thank you. Takes us to approval of our minutes for April 6, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve? Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Any questions or comments? None, the roll.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The minutes have been approved. Receiving communications, do any of the aldermen have communications they'd like to share?
Thank you, Mayor. I received a very lengthy email from Andrew Kelly, a resident in Ward 5, regarding the storm chasers and offering quite a bit of detail on suggestions on how we as a city can address the large surge of mostly roof repair people after our severe storm, kind of repetitive severe storms and all the hail. So I did share this email with his suggestions and ideas with city staff, which also then shared it with the police department to try to, just see if there's things that we could do potentially differently or explore moving forward. I'm just gonna remind the city that once again, you know, we always say if someone is, you know, at your door and you don't want people coming to your door, whether it's about roofs or about, you know, anything, you need to get then a no solicitation sticker, which are available for free at City Hall. People, if they're gonna engage with you at your front door, they should have a permit which needs to be secured from City Hall. And if you're ever concerned about a stranger at your door or on your property, the best thing to do is to call 911. And the police have responded to many, many calls and gone out and taken care of that right away. But there are many, many hundreds and hundreds of roofing permits that have been issued so far since March, 350 to be exact. So there is a need for roofs to be repaired. But we are taking the information that Andrew Kelly shared with us, and just, you know, seeing how it fits into our current protocols and if there's any tweaking that we can do.
One thing I'd want to add, we have people who will call City Hall. They will have a contractor in mind. They've decided to have their roof redone or some work redone. And they call City Hall. And Mary Belmonte is able to tell them the history of that individual, that contracting group. I had a call today from a woman who wants to get a new roof. She knows she needs a new roof. It's a very old roof. And she said, is there anyone the city might recommend? And I talked to Mary, and Mary gave her the name of a company and an individual to speak to. So there is a reason for them to call sometimes and ask that question. And, you know, I trust that these names that we do give them are, I know that I asked Mary for that question 2 years ago, and she gave me a contractor who I utilized, who turned out to be a wonderful contractor. So I would urge people to do that if they're gonna repair the roof and they're not sure, to check it out through our building department. Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, just to expound on your statement, when we provide these recommendations, typically we hand out 3 to 4 that have been in town working consistently for several years. So it's not that somebody knows somebody, so I just kind of wanted to put that out there. To date, we also have probably close to 375 now on permits. I anticipate that we're gonna probably have close to 200 more easily. So, and we do go through a vetting process, just to expound on Drew's points, Andrew's points, and Mary, your read on that. A roofer, if he comes in here to solicit, or anyone who comes in here to solicit, has to come to the city hall and basically fill out an application. That application goes through a background check, and if I'm not mistaken, Greg, what is that, a 7-day process typically, or do you recall?
I don't know.
Okay, so it is about a week, I'll call it 10 days, thank you. It is a 10-day process. Now, several times, or I should say majority of the time, after we get these storms, these guys are out the following morning. All right, residents need to be aware of, do ask them if they have a solicitor's license. That's the first thing. If not, or if you don't know who it is, or don't want to know who it is, call the police, let the police determine whether or not they have a solicitor's license. I personally stopped one person the day after the storm, 2 days after, and I said, do you have a solicitor's license? Introduced myself, so on and so forth, and he did not. I didn't know. That's the wrong answer. You know, all these roofers are vetted. You know they need permits, they know they need licenses. So, and especially with these guys. And again, the best thing I could tell a resident, don't sign on the first, when they come out. And because you'll never get a proposal, typically you won't get a proposal or a quote from these guys, because they're gonna meet your insurance company, and you will never know, in some cases, what the disbursements are.
Can I make a comment about the solicitors, no solicitors I put mine right where my bell is, right across my bell. It used to be on the bottom of my door, and they don't look at the bottom of the door. So when they're gonna ring your bell, put your no soliciting sign right by it, and they don't come. It's worked,
Thank you.
And we do hand those out.
yes.
We do all the time. Yep. Anything else? Anyone else? Joe?
Yeah, I got a few here today. Bonnie Casera called regarding some curbs in Darien or in Norman Courts. Jack Quinnerts on Summit Road emailed me regarding the need of having 4 coffee shops from Fairview to KS Avenue, and Dan will expound about that here shortly. Got a call from Ray Milkus on Worth regarding a gravitational flooding of down the curb line from 71st all the way to the middle of the block on Worth. And then I got a call from John Arvis regarding tenants leaving a property not in good condition on Sequoia. So I had a busy week.
Anyone else? If not, we'll move to the mayor's
Sorry,
report.
Mayor. Joe, I think you asked a question in respect to that statement with Mr. Wilkes.
What, with Mr. Milkus?
Yes. Do you want me
Yeah, if you can,
Sure, and if just residents, city council, Alderman Kenny and myself had a conversation earlier in regard to this, and what it's in reference to is a gentleman reached out to Joe in regards to how many coffee shops do we need? You know, currently we
that's
have.
Mr. Quinner. But keep going.
I'm sorry. We have several coffee shops in town. Obviously, we cannot regulate, you know, the types of businesses, you know, businesses that are allowed within the city where they can, you know, if they're zoned in that district, they have the right and they have the opportunity. This was in reference to the Dutch coffee that's up and coming now at the former TGI Fridays. Again, it's good competition, it's healthy competition. And again, these companies are not moving into an area unless they've done their demographics. You know, you may like Dunkin' Donuts, I may like Starbucks, the next person might like XYZ. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So these companies really vet their process before they just come in and put up a coffee shop. You know, it's no different than a gas station, a bank. So it's along those lines.
And the research I did prior to calling you is those were like 3 different, I mean, at least Dutch Brothers, Dunkin', and Starbucks were 3 different business models. So you're
Correct.
gonna get 3 different sets of customers going into.
Correct,
each
all demographics, all depends what, you know, those demographics predict.
Comcast, but YouTube's good. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, we move to the mayor's report. I have a number of items I'd like to mention. Kathy and I were invited to attend the multicultural fair held at Cass Junior High on Friday, April 17th. This was the second year they've held this multicultural fair. This year they had 20 countries that were represented by a table where people had ethnic dress on, ethnic food, games, facts and figures regarding the countries. There was artwork done by the children, which basically looks something like this, where they were all talking about international cooperation, ethnic cooperation, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And I'm very happy to have attended that and met some people from different areas. My only disappointment of the 20 countries that actually had tables, Italy wasn't there. So we're missing some good food there. But kudos to Superintendent Mark Cross and his staff. This really speaks to the cultural diversity of the school. He indicated to us that there are 60 countries represented in District 63, which is truly amazing. Elected officials and the Darien Business Alliance were invited to participate in a ribbon cutting at Chestnut Courts Shopping Center, the new Burlington store. Burlington, in an expression of his commitment to community involvement, made a $5,000 donation to District 61. I would like to clarify that the city was not consulted by Burlington staff regarding this donation, and the choice of the school district selected and the donation were not made known to staff and elected officials until the event. April indicated to me the first time she realized that a donation was going to be given was when she got out of her car and she saw staff members from District 61 there. We received a number of social media complaints from people from District 66. One person even alleged that Darien was favoring certain public schools over the other, which there was no truth to that. I responded to an email from a board member from District 66, and I indicated to her that we knew nothing about it. We were not part of any recommendation as to who got that money and who didn't. So I want to make that clarification.
But you thank them for their donation.
And yes, and what was sad is a former alderman who now lives in Woodridge made the comment on social media that any future business that would see some of the complaints might think twice about providing a donation if they were coming into Darien. So it really didn't look good, some of the things people said. We will be attending a ribbon cutting ceremony at the Brookhaven Shopping Center on April 22nd, this coming Wednesday, to celebrate Earth Day. Celebrate Earth Day and the installation of the new chargers. The site is offering EV drivers the opportunity to charge their vehicles at 50% off for 2 hours between 1 and 3 p.m. at the Brookhaven Market parking lot. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting as well. This Friday, April 24th, we will be celebrating Arbor Day at the Hinsbrook Park beginning at 9:30. 2 trees will be dedicated, one to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and another one for all Darien residents who we lost last year. We will have participation by a number of community groups and agencies, including children from our 3 local school districts. Following that event, the Darien Garden Club will conduct a tree planting at Birchwood Park beginning at 11 o'clock to commemorate the celebration of their 25th anniversary. The Darien Lions Club will be holding a 2nd annual meat raffle at St. Scholastica in Woodridge on Saturday, April 25th. Tickets are $5. The Darien Garden Club will be holding a celebration of its 25th anniversary on Monday, April 27th at the Darien Park District Community Center beginning at 5 p.m. And the Darien Rotary will be conducting its annual casino night at the Ashton Place on Tuesday, April 28th, beginning at 6 p.m. And tickets for that event are $125. So I just wanted to mention all these activities. Of late, we have a lot of things going on in the city, and I wanted to inform the public what all of our different groups are doing. That concludes my mayor's report. Move to the city clerk's report, Joanne.
I have one announcement. The ethics statements for the city of Darien and the statements of economic interest for DuPage County are due on May 1st. The people who need to complete those economic statements have been emailed by both the county and the city. So if you have not turned in your ethics statements yet, please do so as soon as possible.
City administrator's report.
Thank you,
Brian.
Mayor. Just one item. I recognized Dan earlier with the city council, but there's an item on the council's agenda tonight, a series of items regarding the work that retaining wall at Plainfield Road and Cass Avenue. And I just wanted to give a really sincere thanks to Dan, going back for working on this project. It's been 2.5 years. It's been very, very difficult. There's land acquisition, there's all kinds of engineering involved, and it was been a very, very difficult project. And, along the way, I questioned if this was really ever gonna happen because it was getting very, very difficult. So Dan, again, kudos to you, and also a big thanks to DuPage County. They've been a great partner in this, and appreciate you working very, very closely with them. But thanks, Dan.
Yeah, definitely, and the residents all came together as well, so I thank you for that comment, appreciate it.
We move to the department head report. Thomas has a report to give.
Sure, everybody's received the March monthly report, which really looks at January, February, and March. Just a couple of things, the headlines about prescription drug take-back. Darien Environmental Committee, had an event and, they collected 36 pounds of, prescription drugs. Been doing this for a lot of years and we've taken a lot of, prescription drugs back. We have the, box in the lobby at the police department. And, so it's 2026, sorry. 2025, we took 240 pounds of prescription drugs, so a lot of drugs sitting in medicine cabinets that have been turned in, and we continue to take a lot of those prescription drugs back. Telecommunications week was last week, and obviously we use DUCOM as our 911 call center. Very appreciative of all the work that they do. We handle about 7,000 officer-initiated calls, about 6,000 citizen-generated calls where they either call 911 or a 10-digit dial. And there's a lot to manage that. It's not just one call in and a dispatch out. They can arrange for the tow trucks at an accident, fire apparatus, medical services, all kinds of different things that an officer may need on the scene to handle whatever issue that's at hand, and then manage that and do all the stuff. So hats off to them and the appreciation. And then just one of the things that was noted in the annual report was seeing the outreach and notifications that happen. You see it in one block. It appears to be a lot when you don't see them, and all of a sudden, once you do see them, there's a lot. And so it just added that in there as a feature about what's going on and notifications and community outreach and the like. And then obviously then it gets into all the statistical stuff. So if anybody has any questions, comments, that's great. And if not, that's my report.
Any questions for Chief Thomas? If none, Mr. Grombeck, anything you want to add?
Not for this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That takes us to our treasurer's report. We have a warrant and a monthly report. Treasurer Klein.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 252624 in the amount of $619,008.36 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended April 16th in the amount of $358,064.43. Total will be approved of $977,072.79.
Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belzak. And again, any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower. Aye. Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Leganski.
Aye.
Sullivan. Aye. Stompanato.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
Warrant's been approved. The monthly report, Mike.
Monthly report for the 11 months ended March 31st, 2026 reflects general fund year-to-date revenue of $19,547,192, expenses of $15,046,814, current balance $8,600,364, water and water depreciation fund year-to-date revenue $7,325,039, expenses $7,823,278, current balance $2,711,828. Motor fuel tax fund year-to-date revenue $880,391, expenses of $699,818, current balance $780,528. And the capital improvement fund year-to-date revenue of $903,255, expenses of $2,917,660, current balance $21,455,525.
Any questions for Mike on the monthly report? If not, we move to standing committee reports. Any of the aldermen, any of the chairmen have information to share with the council? Mary?
The next Administrative Finance Committee meeting will take place on Monday, May 4th at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Conference Room.
Thank you. Alderman Kenny?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This evening, the police committee voted and passed the minutes for February 17th, 2026, and we have submitted those to the clerk's office. Our next meeting, pending agenda items, will be on Monday, May 18th, 2026, at 6 p.m. across the parking lot in the police training room.
Alderman Belzak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next municipal services meeting will be a week from today, Monday, April the 27th at 6 PM in council chambers.
Thank you very much. Takes us to questions and comments agenda related. There being no one in our audience, we move on to old business. There being no old business, we move to the consent agenda. Before we start, item D, currently listed under consent agenda, has been removed from the agenda. Items A through I, under the new business, have all been moved to the consent agenda. And the lone new business item we have is the former item J, which is now the new item A. And Joanne's gonna help me here if I screw this up. Item A, motion to approving the Darien Youth Club and the Darien Lions Club opening day parade on Saturday, April 25th, 2026, and waive the police department expenses. Item B, motion approving the release of executive session minutes that no longer require confidentiality. Item C, motion to enter into an agreement with Clark Mosquito for 3 years. Item D, motion approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Darien and the Darien Lions Club for the 2026 Darien Fest and 2026 Oktoberfest. Item E, motion authorizing the Plainfield Road rear wall retaining project at the southeast corner of Plainfield Road and Cass Avenue in an amount not to exceed $751,204 with a reimbursement from the County of DuPage as per the intergovernmental agreement on file in an amount of approximately $381,484 pending final quantities. Item F, motion approving, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement, into a contract, with Landwork Limited for the Plainfield Road rear water wall project in an amount not to exceed $422,527.47 as per the schedule of pricing. Item G, motion authorizing the Public Works Drainage Project as part of the Plainfield Road rear wall project to J.C. Landscaping in an amount not to exceed $86,200 as per the schedule of pricing. Item H, authorizing an expenditure for down lighting, electrical lighting components, comment service and installation as part of the Plainfield Road rear wall project in an amount not to exceed $25,000 as per the schedule of pricing. Item I, approval of a motion authorizing an expenditure for the purchase and installation services of select trees, planting, and mulching to Spring Grove Nursery Supplier and Apex Landscaping Installer in an amount not to exceed $17,288 in accordance with the schedule of pricing. And
J.
item J, motion authorizing an expenditure for the removal and replacement of the curb and gutter through the city's approved 2026 concrete contract with Suburban Concrete at the contract unit pricing for Linden Avenue and Plainfield Road as the part of the Plainfield Road rear wall project, radius widening in an amount not to exceed $10,512 as per the scheduled pricing. Item K, motion authorizing an expenditure for the milling and resurfacing through the city's approved 2026 road maintenance program with Builders Paving at the contract unit pricing for Linda and Plainfield Road as part of the Plainfield Road rear wall project, radius widening in an amount not to exceed $25,000 as per the schedule of pricing. And item
L.
F,
L,
L,
correct.
motion authorizing a contingency in amount of $531,000 for unforeseen project conditions or additions that may be required. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Kennedy. And the roll.
Shower.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Leganski.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
Our consent agenda has been approved. We go to new business. We have one item, item A, a resolution authorizing the execution of a letter of intent for continued participation in the DuPage Police Records Management System. Motion to approve. Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any discussion?
We discussed this issue tonight at the police committee meeting, and we voted on it 2-0. And it's basically taking the systems that we have currently and just tweaking them and improving them a little bit. Chief knows more about it than I do, and he could do a far better job of explaining it, okay?
Certainly. There's several parts to the enterprise system. So there's CAD, which is the 911 center that takes all the information in from either 911 call, 10-digit dial, or police radio, or police computer. And then they manage that call using CAD. MPS is the part of the enterprise system that allows for communication from the squad car and 911 center back and forth. It allows for leads, NCIC, Secretary of State, all these different types of checks that you would want to do about a wanted person, a stolen car, driver's license, license plates, all those different types of things run through that program. Those two are staying with Hexagon, our current vendor. There's a lot of dissatisfaction within police departments and record clerks and county IT with the records management system where all the data flows into, and field-based reporting, the system that the officers use to type out their police reports. And so the county authorized an RFP, so an RFP went out and they did all their due diligence. All the police agencies were invited to see the vendors and what they can do and can't do and all those different types of things. So a vendor has been identified. What this project is just to ask that the consortium, so there's all the police departments in DuPage County, with the exception of Aurora, Naperville, and Elmhurst, were in this consortium. Downers Grove and Addison left that consortium. Everybody else is currently in that consortium. They believe maybe one or two more might leave, depending, but Bob Berlin, who obviously is the chief law guy in DuPage County, would like it, that everybody stays on the same system. But whether we stay with this system, if not, then we would have to go out, do our own RFP and spend a whole lot of money doing that project in order to, we have to have a records management system, have to have a field-based reporting system. So my recommendation is to stay with the consortium.
From what I read, I attended a meeting of the group, and I saw their discussion. And they really went through an extensive study in terms of the three that they, I think it was Axiom, Mark
43.
23, and Motorola.
Correct.
And they really went through an extensive study in terms of rankings. I think we had a couple officers that actually participate in the trial. So they've gone through a lot to get to this point. Greg mentioned that we may have a few drop out. If we have a couple more communities drop out and the cost to any of the municipalities hits 10% more in terms of cost, there's something that kicks in at that point, from what I understand.
Well, it all depends of when they leave the consortium and whether they're still required to pay the Hexagon amount and or the new vendor amount. And so that's been discussed at the PRMS committee, which is mayors and managers, and Bob Berlin runs that show. I'd never heard that 10% number, but there is a cost associated with it. The ugliness of this agreement is that they can give us an approximate cost, but until they know how many agencies are going to stay in the consortium and what the agencies within the consortium want as part of modules. One that they asked about already was whether or not we wanted to use cell phones to write police reports, and we said no. So a lot of those are individual to the agency, so we said no, but another agency could say yes, and then they would have to configure for that agency or agencies that said yes to that, but we wouldn't be paying for that fee. We would pay for the modules that we want.
Any other questions for Chief Thomas? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have the roll.
Stompanato. Aye. Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Legansky.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The item has been approved. Takes us to questions, comments, announcement of a general nature. Do any of the aldermen have anything they'd like to share?
One quick thing I'd like to share is last week I got a chance to go to Mark DeLay School, to the second grade class that they are doing a career club. And to hear second graders asking questions about aldermen. These kids were, for 7 and 8-year-old kids, these kids were really sharp with some of the questions they asked. And then I asked the big one, how much money you make, those kind of questions. But no, it was real fun.
I was a participant in that about a month or so ago. You are correct. They ask a lot of really good questions. I had a little girl in the front of the classroom looked at me and she said, "Have you met President Trump yet?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And she looked at me and she goes, "Well, why in the world haven't you met him yet?" And I said, "We don't run in the same circles." But for second graders, these kids really asked some good questions. They really did. I'm glad you did that, Joe. Anything else? Motion to adjourn? Yansky, seconded by Alderman Kenny. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.